Okay, I'm rolling.
Okay, perfect.
Okay. Is there a certain reason to why you chose to do the Signals Peoples of Essex project?
Right. So why did we choose to do the Signals Peoples of Essex project? So it was a 3-year heritage lottery funded project. And the point of it really was to showcase, in a time where migrants are ostracised and seen as quite a negative thing, maybe a pushback about what people verify as boat people and this sort of stuff, to show that actually immigration in terms of legitimate ways to come across, and also maybe what we would consider illegal immigration, isn't a new thing.
Yeah.
It's something that has existed since basically the Celtic period in 40 AD.
Yeah.
And there has been migration from all over the world, for hundreds of years, and it's nothing new.
Yeah.
So that was one of the core pointers that we wanted to highlight through the documentary.
Okay. And what was your your favourite part of doing that project? In terms of all of this research and information.
So the favourite part of doing it, I suppose it was learning about things that we wouldn't normally know. So we do know about the Romans. We learn about that all the time. What we probably didn't realise about the Romans was that almost all of the Roman, invaders, for instance, in the United Kingdom, weren't from Italy. They weren't from Rome. They were majority, there would have been Roman commanders who had originally been from Rome, but one of the things that you would do when you're taking over a country is you wouldn't incorporate the country's own army into your army, because it's very hard to control a group of people who are native. So actually, the people who were in England who'd come over from the Roman Empire were from North Africa, were from Europe, were from the other, Turkey, the other places that the Roman Empire had invaded. They weren't all necessarily, there were people that were embroidered into and, enslaved into their army. So, and then you've got to imagine the Roman Empire went on for hundreds of years.
Yeah.
So for hundreds of years from, 42 AD, there were a huge mixture of cultures in Britain, white, black, brown, Asian, and they were speaking not just Latin, they were speaking Greek, because Greek was a key culture there, and the Celts, who had lots of different tribes in and around Britain and England, and obviously got pushed back to Wales and Scotland. They were trading very much with the Romans before the invasion, and as the hundreds of years went over, by sort of the end of the Roman Empire, Celts, Britons, native Britons, saw themselves as Roman, and they were part of that culture.
Yeah.
So this idea that suddenly loads of people from other countries are suddenly living in England, and that suddenly diluted the English culture, is nonsense, because the English culture was diluted in 40 AD.
Yeah, so it's a long time ago.
Yeah, it's thousands of years ago.
And if you did the project again differently, what would you do differently?
If we did the project again differently, as well, I said the other thing that was interesting from the last project, just forgot, was stuff like the Dutch weavers.
Yeah.
The Dutch coming over in the sort of 1600s and basically being told by the crown that they should come over because they were going to basically help the economy rise, was something that you never learn about in school.
And you had the kinder transport and things like that.
Had the kinder transport, yeah. I did. We hear about during World War Two and when the Jewish refugees came over to stay in England and stuff like that. But I don't recall anything in school learning about the fact that they don't call it Kristallnacht anymore, and whatever it is they call it nowadays. But after the events of Kristallnacht, that previous to the evacuations of the Jewish refugees, the King to Transport was a whole host of kids being brought over, being dropped off at Harwich, and then being sent around the country. They're like. I don't know if they teach it in school now, but we didn't hear about that.
Yeah, I don't remember learning anything about it.
After the end of the World War II, they got the colonies to get involved, and they specifically requested people from the Caribbean countries, the West Indies, to come and help rebuild Britain. And then it's stuff like, 2016 when Theresa May said, oh, anyone who's come over from Jamaica and didn't have a passport needs to go back. Well, it's like, Britain asked them to come over in the first place after the Britain had been destroyed, and the Caribbean communities and groups agreed because they were part of the British Empire.
Yeah.
They thought they were doing it for their queen.
Yeah.
So it's stories like that and stuff that seems to have been sort of brushed under the rug has been quite interesting to bring out, and to sort of suggest that a lot of this happened around Essex as well. So what would we do differently?
Yeah.
I think I was involved in the project maybe several months before it had been completed, whereas the whole project had been going on for 3 years. In terms of the documentary alone, I think it would have been really good to get more people from the communities to get a really wide idea of life at that time. Mm-hmm. But the main problem with a documentary, is obviously it can be very difficult to hone down exactly what you want to say with it.
Yeah.
And on a project like the Peoples of Essex, when we're doing it to fit within a funding bracket, within a a project that we're trying to do that has a wider community reach, and there's other things that we have to sort of in many ways tick boxes, it can be really tricky to just do something for I can't just do whatever I think for the love. It has to also fit a certain template that we're trying to solve, being a charity and an NPO and all them other things. So and having it's hard to sort of. Sometimes it's better having something you want to say, like the new Lure Through documentary is basically saying. Oh,
I watched that. I love
yeah,
it. So
yeah. It's basically saying like the manosphere is bad, but that's you're going in and proving why it's bad because the people involved are essentially dickheads.
Yeah, who kind of made fun of them without.
Yeah, they made fun of them. But with a project like what we were doing for Signals, you have to be kind of neutral, right? Because we're funded by the public.
Yeah.
So we can't necessarily say all migration is good. We can't necessarily say all migration is bad. All we can do really is go, this is what happened. And that can be sometimes for a documentary, especially when you want to get a hook, because it's still entertainment for people to watch. If you don't have a voice or something that you're trying to basically say, it can be very hard for people to keep interested. But that's one of the problems that we face.
Bias kind of thing.
We can't be, we have to be sort of careful on the voice that we're putting out, which would be easier for you because you're not having to, you're not having to worry about, you're making it for yourself.
Myself. And then I know you said it was lottery funded, but was there are you allowed to say how much it was or anything like that?
Yeah, so I'll wait until it stops. Currently eating the nice biscuits that you've provided. Is that something I said to do? Bring biscuits along?
John might have said something.
Yeah.
But it's not nice to turn up somewhere empty-handed anyway. So.
Yeah, that's good. So, budgeting finance. The total budget for the project, I believe, was something around about 65 to 70,000, which is obviously a huge amount of money. But if you bear in mind, the difference for funding a project like this when you're with a company is different. So let's say it was 60,000 just to make it easy. Bear in mind it's a 3-year project.
Yeah, that's what I was my first thought. That's like.
So that only really means it's 20,000 a year.
Mm.
Now, if you imagine that now there is 4 at least full-time staff who work here, 20,000 between the 4, you know, that's not even one of their salaries.
Yeah.
So the budget really is very tight. Now, if we imagine a film day where we're going to go. So when we did the filming for you know, we got the main interviews, and then we did like a day where we went with the historian and we got all the, you know, pickups and all the in stuff. That was like 2 days. And then just to get all the, you know, intro bits, the rest of it we could have been shooting for maybe 15 days overall in different places with different groups, you know, to get all the different stuff. Bear in mind it's something like $5.50 per person per day per shooter to film.
Yeah.
So really, you only kind of just about break even when you're making one of these sort of projects for this sort of thing. Who funded it? Well, yeah, National Lottery funded it. We get some money from the council, not much, like $5,000 a year. You get tiny little pots of money as well from maybe community funds and stuff like that. The realism is that you wouldn't be able to get any money like this because you have to be a charity or, you know, an organisation in order to receive money like that for projects. And it comes with caveats. It's not like they just say, here's a load of money, go and make a film. You get the money because you're doing community engagement. You have to do like 100 workshops in schools and young people to sort of tell people about what's going on. You have to, you know, we had to do an exhibition that's free to the public, so you can't really make money from it. All the videos that we've now put online have a copyright caveat with Creative Commons 4.0, which means, you know, it's public access. People can download and rip it and use our stuff for research and their work and educational use because we've been paid to create an educational resource. So there is the case of we've got a load of money, but it comes with the fact that, you know,
yeah, when you're looking in the
bigger picture, it's not much money, and actually it comes with a load of stipulations, which is not really ideal for this. What I'd suggest for financing for a personal project like this is most people are happy to sort for free. You know, it's very rare that you'll ever interview someone and you will have to pay them. So that's one good thing.
I'm thinking to, like, sorry to interrupt, to offer them like advertisement in the place, so I can take a few shots and I can put like a logo and some music for them to put on their social media in return. Yeah,
I would say to avoid basically turning your doc into an advert, I would say stuff that you could do is
separately to it. Just I can do it as a little thing for them on the side.
Yeah, make them a 1 minute reel to showcase their stuff.
Yeah.
And at the end put their, you know, supported by their logo in the end credits.
Yeah, I just did that for action research. There's the Martha supermarket in my shop, and I just made them a little advert.
Yeah.
Just for them, because they let me film in there for action research.
Yeah, perfect. Yeah. So doing stuff like that is really good. The other thing is you can kind of make them feel comfortable, as in like, you know, you're saying, hey, we're going to be shooting on this camera, which has these capabilities and does this, and, you know, just to kind of be like, oh, okay, it's a proper thing. They're not just turning up with a phone, and, you know, which actually sometimes is fine depending on where it's going. But it kind of just makes them feel a bit more comfortable. Yeah. What else?
And then this doesn't really need to be like recorded, so it's like it said do you know about any contacts that would be like would help with my documentary, like resources or anything?
Depending on it depends. What resources would you want?
I mean, I've got a couple contacts from Darius with like First Sight and the lady who runs it, and also with the Colchester Arts Centre, because they've done. I went to the gig that they done with the Love Anti-Racism like concert thingy. So I could I'm hoping to go and speak to one of them, or even a phone call, just to get some like more research.
Yeah.
And with the first site, they obviously have loads of free. They do during the holidays. They have like, they open up, like you can go there and get food for like refugees and things like that, which is quite nice. But just think, anyone that I'm missing, any like more.
Yeah, I mean, it depends. Like, what? So, is it like you're looking for more people to interview?
But interviewing, it should be fine in terms of that. I've been because I kind of wanted to broaden the spectrum in terms of like people. Like my teacher, she's from Chile, and she's like does my PSHE stuff, and then if I interview a restaurant, it's like food, and then a barber, it's like a service, and then a shop, it's like like essentials. So I don't really know. I don't know if I need any. I don't know. I just spoke to John, and John said that maybe if Jamie's got any contacts, possibly.
Yeah, I mean, absolutely. I think I can give you contacts. It just sort of depends what. Do you know what I mean? What the context would be for?
More for like the diversity in Colchester, or if anybody's done like an event or something that relates to that.
Okay, so I would talk to Rama, like Refugee Action.
Yeah.
But they're called Rama now. I would talk to AFI UK, African Families in the UK. I would talk to Essex Cultural Diversity Project, the guy Ali. I would speak to Essex County Council. They do a migrant event at the what's the church people do the Christmas stuff? Salvation Army.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, they do a migrant event, Salvation Army. Yeah, you're right. First, I always do like a lunch club, dinner club for people to come around. There's also the possibility of speaking with Outhouse, because they will have migrants that maybe have different experiences if they're like gay or something, you know.
That should be all good. If you can't think of any more, don't worry.
So Colchester, I think, got granted City of Sanctuary, and that was with the council. So trying to contact the council, and I didn't get her name. Her name was just Shaz. But there's something about Colchester being a city of sanctuary and what that meant for migrants or people of different, you know, cultural backgrounds to live in Colchester specifically. Can't think of anything else, but I mean, there's, you know, other societies, like there's the got the Chinese Society, got the Malayalam, you know, South Indian Society around here.
I know it's not Colchester, but they have one in Ipswich as well.
Yeah, in Ipswich they've got the place that I spoke to was the Windrush.
Yeah, because everybody went there during that, and nobody wanted to hire them, but people in Ipswich did. Cause they were like, "Yeah, we'll take you," and then that's why so many of them ended up living there.
There's a Caribbean group at the Derek Walker group that meet on Thursdays, Wednesdays or Thursdays, which is opposite Sainsbury's in town. Yeah, they're the ones I can think of.
Okay.